Hi, I'm Abby Mashoff, and this is my video for the STAR interview assignment. Here we go. Question 1 says, tell me about the accomplishment that you are the most proud of. One of the accomplishments that I am the most proud of is actually from my job previously this summer. I worked at a summer camp and was in charge and director of kid activities and programs, so all things skits, all things games, all things fun, right up my alley, super fun and loved it. My responsibility was to plan, facilitate, and execute each party that we did, each game that we did, each activity that we did with campers alongside with a team of 5 people. Super fun, a lot of hard work, a lot of go, but super fun. We had a budget, all these different things. To achieve that overall goal, our group of 5 people really had to have good communication, work together, open mindsets, because a lot of us had different ideas, and as we talked about it, we ended up being able to honestly put all of our ideas together and just promote a super fun overall camp experience within the budget that we were given at the beginning of the summer. And so the result was we were actually voted one of the top programs teams among the camp this summer at the very end. They were extremely proud of us and how we even stayed $2,000 under budget. So super exciting. We had amazing reviews. I was praised for my confidence, my hard work, my ideas, and just a great overall time and experience, things like that. And so I was just able to work alongside people, which is really important for any sales role. The next question says, tell me about a time that your effort was not getting the desired outcome and what you did. I would say one of these times was probably in high school, honestly. I played for a club volleyball team, and we were putting in the effort, we were doing the workouts, doing drills, all these different things, and we were just not winning games. And so my responsibility as the team captain was to work on team connection and being able to work together. And so I had our team over to my house, and we just spent the whole afternoon together. We played games, we swam in my pool, really just learning, trust building, and doing some different activities that worked on our team bonding, like undoing the human knot and working on our communication skills. And the result is actually we ended up winning, I think it was 5 or 6 of the next games that we had, and finished out the season with a winning record. Just this taught me that you can't work alone isn't necessarily enough. You have to collaborate with people. You have to utilize your team to come together. It's not just all me and I can do this and win. It's everyone has to be on the same page and enjoy being with one another and work together and desire to do that, so we have the same outcome. We just needed to get to the root of our problem and miscommunication, and we did, and our winnings showed that this worked. The next question says to tell me about a time you were asked to do something that you didn't agree with. At one of my previous jobs as a nanny, I was asked to punish the child, and I didn't feel comfortable in my position to do that. And so my responsibility was obviously to discipline the child in the way that the parents wanted me to, but I didn't agree with. And so I just simply had a conversation with the parents and was like, look, I don't agree with this and I don't feel comfortable doing this. I understand that this is your way of punishing your child, but I just don't think I'm the person that I'm to do that. And they were like, well, this is what our child needs to listen and obey. And I was like, okay, then I'm going to have to just step back from this position. You're going to have to find somebody else, because I will not carry that out. And they appreciated my honesty with that, which was reassuring to hear, but obviously sad that I needed to leave that job just because I couldn't fulfill their wishes and wasn't comfortable with that. And so this experience honestly just showed me that ethical advocacy not only protects people, but it also just strengthens relationships and my reputation in any job, whether it's a nanny, whether it's working at camp, whether it's in a sales position, things like that. The next question is, what is your greatest weakness and what have you done about it? I would say my greatest weakness as far as academically and professionally and personally is confrontation. I'm a peacemaker. I love harmony. I don't want to disrupt something good that is happening if my feelings are being hurt. I think part of that is just the people pleaser side of me, and that's something that I have been actively working on and overcoming and growing, things like that. And so my goal to overcome this is to honestly just have a more honest and open communication and still be able to act efficiently and not be nervous to have these kind of hard conversations that I know that I need to have. And so I started just simply saying no to kind of overcome the people-pleasing aspect, which helps with the confrontation thing, because once I can say no to certain things, it gives me the confidence to be like, okay, I can advocate for myself and I can address a hard conversation if someone is being rude to somebody else, if someone isn't doing what they're supposed to, or getting things done on time, or putting things away in the proper places. This resulted in me being less stressed, and honestly me just I felt like I was being heard more, because I was able to communicate more effectively and communicate my needs instead of just like sitting back and getting frustrated that things weren't getting done the way that they need to. And so I do see this as more of an ongoing growth area, and I've committed to continuous improvement just because I have seen growth within myself. And I know that recognizing weaknesses and taking more like concrete steps to improve truly demonstrates just self-awareness of myself. And that is a trait that I can bring to a sales role, specifically in your company or anywhere else. The next question is, describe a time that you worked with a difficult team member. This actually goes back into college. I had a group assignment, and one of the girls in our group she didn't show up. She didn't respond to our text. None of the above. She maybe responded once and came to class like 2 or 3 times. And so the parts of her project weren't getting done, and it was frustrating the rest of us as a group because we were like, this project isn't going to get done on time, etc. And so everyone was frustrated. Communication was not going well, and that just caused tension among our group. And so I decided to just individually message her and just be like, hey, trying to understand where you've been, why you haven't been participating. I understand that life happens and things like that, and if you need help, like, would love to talk to our professor about it, but we can't keep being led on with your inconsistency as we're trying to get things done and keep our grades good, because that's not fair to me or the rest of our team. And so we talked to our professor and her eventually, and the team member did improve their participation, and our group did start completing our project successfully and on time. Luckily, our professor was gracious with some of the previous projects that were turned in late due to our group members' lack of timeliness. And so our collaboration experience did eventually become smoother, and our final result did exceed our expectations for our final presentation. And so this truly just reinforced my belief that empathy, proactive communication, and problem solving are just essential skills for both teamwork and client management in sales and in life, and just good to come alongside people and work with them in that way. The next question is, give an example of how you handled multiple priorities at once. Recently, this past summer in my job, I was in charge of planning skits, I was in charge of planning games, planning parties, and with all of that, also doing setup, doing teardown, facilitating teams to put things away, to put things together, to put things up. And so my day consisted of a busy schedule doing multiple things at once. And so my task was to make sure that this was done and done well for campers to be satisfied and have so much fun at camp. And so to do that, I created a schedule of each day, each activity, what each activity needed supply-wise, and hung it up in our shed for our teams to go in, get what we needed, and to leave, set it all up without me telling them what to do 24/7. So as a result of this, people were confident. They had questions. I was available if they needed help, and everything was completed all time and executed well, which me and my team are really grateful for about. And so this experience really strengthened my ability to multitask, stay organized, lead well, and prioritize what's effective, and communicate clearly. So these key skills are for more of a fast-paced sales role. I know this job wasn't necessarily sales-oriented, but it can be, all these skills that I utilize this summer can be used in a sales role. And so the last question is, why should we hire you? I have a lot of strengths. I bring strong communication skills, a competitive spirit, unwavering integrity, positive, love to be around people, and just can have fun and enjoy what I do. Next, I have experience. I have practical experience with sales presentations in my college time, leading projects, problem solving, and all of those equips me to connect with clients and provide value to them and just hear them out, know where they're at, things like that. The next is I learn and I grow. I'm very coachable. I'm motivated to just continuously improve, and I embrace feedback and can adapt quickly to about anything, which allows me to thrive in dynamic and fast-paced environments. And lastly, I just leave a lasting impact, and I do believe that about myself. I don't just want a job. I would like to build a career in sales and contribute to the growth of a team and any organization. Thank you for your time today.